We'd like to dedicate 60 seconds of remembrance to Georgefloyd and his family for the recent loss of our beloved and the stand up against racism and injustice. It brings us on to our first question. Why do you feel the rise in violence, particularly amongst young black males, is so prevalent within the country and within the world?
Oh, it's kind of deep still. Obviously, this goes back from way back, do you know what I mean? Ain't nothing new, it goes back from way back. I think it's a whole lot of things, man. I think it's just... bro, what can I say? But it's just racism, innit? It just, I don't know, man. I don't know what to call it. Like hating, I don't like, do you know what I mean? Obviously, they see something in a particular, like, in a certain, like, they see something in black people. I'll be straight real. They see something in black people and they just hate for some reason, innit? Why they do that? Do you know what I mean? It's mad, I don't know, bro.
What do you think we're going to do? Well, what can we do? Protesting is not working. We've done the protesting. We've seen the various forms of protests that have taken place in terms of the peaceful protests. That's not worked. So what do you feel the community feels is the response? What do you feel the response is to this atrocious outburst of racism and vile behaviour?
The response is we need their full attention. We need their full attention by making statements, coming out, not necessarily violence. Doesn't make sense all going out looting and smashing up shops and all that, because at the end of the day, that's your own community. Like the shopkeepers all around me, they're people that I say hello and hi to. Some of them we're cool with family, so it doesn't really make sense going out looting. You get me? It's not a reason to go out and rob and all that, you get me? But it's just like, get the government's attention, you get me? Show them that we're serious about this. You get me? Go out, make statements, like, just do anything necessary, but then violence, take it to the feds. Obviously, this thing's mad as well, because it's not like all the white people that's racist, it's just some people, you get me, that are racist. It's not all white people, because there's also white people that's not really, they're not really feeling what's going on and what they're doing, do you know what I mean? So it's a bit crazy, it's a bit mad, you get me? But yeah, man, just get their attention, make hardcore statement, and let's not forget, let's stay active and at it, do you know what I mean? Like constant, like make it a lifestyle, you get me? Because what we're going through, it's a lifestyle, so we need to just be defending ourselves, and we need to just stay active for a lifestyle, man, you get me? Like,
and in time of a young black male that is in, you know, the USA or the UK, wherever that person may be, a person from a minority community, how can they keep themselves safe when the very people that are supposed to keep them safe have publicly displayed their discontent and care for that another human being's life? How do you feel, and what advice could you give to our community in terms of safeguarding our children and young people when they're out in the streets and coming into the hands of the law, having seen a recent case of Georgefloyd, rest in peace, who was murdered in the hands of a law officer, unarmed and handcuffed, with multiple people instructing in a desperate voice saying, leave him, get off of him. Georgefloyd himself saying, I cannot breathe. Remove your knee from my neck. I cannot breathe, I cannot breathe. I cannot breathe for a long 5 minutes. And despite hearing those cries and screams for help, that poor person was ignored to the point where they died on the spot and was carried handcuffed onto a stretcher into an ambulance van. He died on that spot, under that man's knee, under that police officer's knee. What advice can we give? What actions can we take, coming from the life of where we've came from, to safeguard our young people?
Bro, first and foremost, I say, boy, remain positive, innit? We've got to remain positive, car. Obviously, it is hard and it's deep, you get me, brother? It is deep. But we got to remain positive, you get me? We got to make that statement that, rah, look, we ain't having it. We've got to get their attention and say, look, we ain't having it. You get me? And that not having it's got to be a lifestyle. We've been going through this for a hot minute. You get me? It's a lifestyle for us, all these sufferance and going through all these things, and us like dying and being mistreated and all of that. You get me? So we gotta stay fighting. You get me? Remain positive. Make statements. You get me? Come back, get their attention. Let them know, like, look, you know what I'm saying? We ain't having it. And for the youths, like, just keep them positive as well. You get me? Because I strongly believe that in a way this is a trap as well. You get me? Because what they do is they do these things, you get me, we wild out, we retaliate, you get me, in certain ways that, you know, we don't think it's wrong, but they use that against us, and then people start getting arrested, they escalate things, you get me, by us retaliating, you get me, we know why we're doing it for, but then it becomes the next thing, then it becomes dangerous. You can get nicked, and especially right now, you get me, with all these laws being changed and all these things, God knows what can happen to somebody when they're retaliating. And looting is definitely not the solution for us. You get me? If we made those mistakes back then and whatever, it's not the solution right now, because when we're going around and we're smashing up our own communities, you get me, shopkeepers that we're cool with, that we say hi to and all that, you get me, that's not solving anything, because those shopkeepers, they're probably feeling the same way you're feeling, you get me, so that don't really make no sense. I say, get the government's attention, let them know that we ain't having it, at the same time just keep it positive, do you know what I mean? But let's be loud about it, you get me? No violence needed though.
And for the families and the friends of George, who have been affected by this, and the fact that the arresting officer, it taken 7 days for that arresting officer to be arrested, and if it was anyone else, they would have been arrested immediately. How can you not be angry and retaliate?
But that's what I'm saying, it's a violation, but the thing is, this is what I'm saying, this is the trap that I'm talking about. Do you get me? Like, they doing things like what they doing, it's a crime in itself, what they doing. Do you know what I'm saying? They going out, setting out laws, giving out laws, don't do this, don't do that. But they breaking the laws. Do you get me? They breaking the laws, violating, and then when we stand up for ourselves, we get in trouble for retaliating. But the thing is, this is what I'm talking about. This is the trap, you get me? They want us to stay angry, you get me, to keep us oppressed. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole cycle. They do something, they kick something off. Like, we stand up for ourselves. You get me? We defend ourselves. And then they retaliate with arrests and more killings and more what they want to do. You get me? And then it just keeps the cycle going. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's what it is, man.
And lastly, what advice and what words of inspiration can you give to young people that have been affected by this issue or that are fearful?
Remain positive, stay prayed up, think it through, find wise ways of of being effective in the society at this moment right now, because it's crazy, but certain people, you could just end up losing your head and doing the wrong thing and then finding yourself in the same place. So be careful, man. Roll safe, man. Stay prayed up and all of that too.
You can talk to us briefly. What does stay prayed up mean? And can you talk to us about this recent project that you have?
So my recent project is an EP. It's called Stay Prayed Up. It's off the scripture, 1 Thessalonians 5:17. Pray without ceasing. You get me? So it's just like, yeah, man. You must constantly pray. You get me? Like it says in the word. Got 5 tracks on the EP. It was supposed to be 7, but the other 2 tracks I was supposed to have singers on there, but obviously because we're on lockdown and all that, it's a bit mad getting people to the studio. But me, you can't stop me, you get me? I move with the most high. There's no stopping me. I ain't lonely, I got God in me. You get me? So that's what it is, man.
Thank you. We look forward to that, man. It's going to be on all platforms. You better get it everywhere.